Arise, queens. This is the All Queens Army, where women are provided with the tools you need to overcome your fears, face your flaws, and experience breakthroughs as you develop self-esteem so strong you emanate royalty. Now, for your host and commander of the All Queens Army, Breezy Time.
Hey, queens, it's season 3 finale. I'm super pumped. Queens, thank you for riding with your girl. It's Breezy T and the place to be. Hey, queens. Super exciting. Yes, baby. It is the season 3 finale, honey. Whoop, whoop. I am so pumped. You know why I'm super duper pumped, queens? Because just like I was super pumped at the finale episode in season 2, I'm super pumped at the finale episode for season 3, okay? Because, honey, I celebrate my accomplishments, okay? And one of the things that I have struggled with for so long in all of my businesses, with plurals, plenty of S's, because I've started so many, I have struggled so much with consistency and staying focused. And honey, when I crush a goal, right? When I overcome something that has been holding me back, when I overcome a flaw, when I overcome a problem that I had personally, baby, I celebrate, honey. So I am celebrating because this is the end of 3 seasons, which means for 3 years now, I have stuck with this platform. And you know why I stuck with it, queens? I stuck with it because I love you, queens, so much. I stuck with it because you give me so much energy. You give me energy just by listening. You give me energy just by being present. You give me energy, queens, just because I know that I am amongst women and I am rubbing shoulders with women who are ready to evolve and who are ready to grow and who are ready to change their lives and who are ready to take the bull by the horns and manifest the life that they want and stop accepting the bullshit that life just throws our way, honey. So that's what makes me excited, and that's what gives me the energy to keep going every day. So with the most sincere and most heartfelt thank you, I thank you, queens, so fucking much. I love you so much, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep motivating the shit out of you every single week because this shit right here is my love. I love you, queens, so much. I just wanted to celebrate for a quick moment, so don't mind me, y'all. I'm just pumped up right now, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to make a couple really, really quick announcements. These announcements are different than all of the others because it's the end of the season, so I want to tell you, queens, what to expect and what's going to happen while we're in the off season and what we're doing for season 4 and some of those plans, okay? And then we're going to jump right into today's topic, and what I'm going to be sharing with you, queens, today is helping you to understand how to develop patience, okay? That's what today's episode is going to be all about. So before we jump into that, quickly, the All Queens Army website, as you queens know, we've launched a brand new website not long before season 3 started. We had to do a new website because of the amount of traffic and the growth that All Queens Army had experienced, which is super duper exciting. On top of that, at the beginning of this season 3, I dropped 5 e-courses for you beautiful queens that I created during the off season between season 2 and season 3. The reason that I created those e-courses is because people were asking me for more details about how to do some of the things that we talk about during the episodes, okay? So how to heal, how to get over things that hurt you, how to move past pain, how to evolve as a woman, how to grow, how to manifest the life you want, how to change and shift the shit that you don't want. I would get a lot of questions after the episodes, which led me to realize that clearly you queens needed something that was more detailed, that gave you clear and concise actions as to what exactly you need to do to resolve whatever we're talking about in the podcast episode. So I created those e-courses for the queens. If you are a part of the queendom, those e-courses are free for the queens, okay? So they're out there. They're only going to stay up for this next week. week because the e-courses are only live and out there during the podcast season. So when we go into off season, which is going to happen at the end of this week, the e-courses will no longer be available, okay? You're going to have to wait until season 4 starts, and that's not for another couple of months, okay? So make sure, queens, you're taking advantage of those e-courses. A lot of queens have actually taken them. I look at the analytics on my website every day, and I am literally shocked and honored by how many of you queens are taking advantage of those e-courses. So please, if you have some friends, if you have family members or other queens that you know that you think can benefit, share those e-courses. You only have 7 days, okay? So that's that. So I wanted to share that with you queens. Now, during the off season between season 3 and season 4, I will be creating new e-courses. So if you have suggestions, if there's something specific that you want to learn, let me know. Shoot me those suggestions. I love getting suggestions from you queens about what it is that you want to see, what you want to hear, what you want to learn, and the courses that you need to help you resolve whatever it is that you're working through, okay? So next is the blog. Every week I write a motivational blog for you queens. Those blogs will continue even during the off season, so you'll still be able to get a weekly dose of motivation even though the podcast is going into off season for a couple of weeks. So if you haven't subscribed to the actual blog, make sure you go to the website and become a member. It's totally free. Just go to the website, become a member. That way you will get a notification when there's a new blog out as well, okay? And last thing, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can also do that as well on the website at allqueensarmy.com. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes, so you can subscribe to the podcast on any of those platforms, all right? So today's episode is going to be super duper epic and super duper helpful, okay? Super duper freaking helpful, queens, because I gotta give you a big ass punch to carry you guys through to season 4, because you won't get a new podcast episode for a couple weeks, okay? But I'll still be around. So if you are an avid listener to the podcast episodes, you can actually connect with me on the Instagram page. I'm there every single day. I post motivational content and engage with the queens every day. So if you want to do that, you can head over to Instagram at All Queens Army, or Facebook at All Queens Army, or even TikTok at All Queens Army. I am there. I put content out there every single day, okay? So you can connect there. That way you don't miss your motivation from the All Queens Army, all right? Okay, queens. So now that we got all of those announcements out of the way, because that was a lot of announcements, right? That was way more announcements than we usually have. So now that we're done with that, we're going to talk about how to develop patience. And a lot of people are like, I don't care about no damn patience. I don't need no patience. I'm impatient. I've always been impatient. Or who cares about patience? Or why is patience so important? Or like, why is that something that we're even talking about today? Don't we have something more important to talk about? No, we do not, okay? Patience is a virtue. It is one of the virtues of life. And it doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter whether you practice spirituality or you don't. It doesn't matter. It's one of the virtues of life, period, okay? Patience is a requirement for a successful life. So that's one of the reasons that we're going to talk about it. Another reason that we're going to be talking about patience is because this entire season had a theme. And the theme of this season was all about self-love. It was about self-esteem. It was about confidence. It was about self-worth, okay? It was about rebuilding the broken parts of us. It was about healing our wounds. It was about taking care of us. It was about working on our emotional health. That was what this season was all about. A true focus on self-reflection, getting into ourselves, pulling back the layers of the onion to get to the core and the foundation of who we are and what we go through and why we do what we do and why we manifest what we manifest, why we attract what we attract, why we behave the way we behave, why we act the way we act, why we react the way we react, okay? Why we are who we are and how the hell did we get here? And more importantly, how do we get to where we want to be? That's what this season was all about. So the second reason that I decided that this is going to be the finale episode was for us to talk about patience, is because you cannot do any of the things that I just mentioned previously. You can't do them successfully without having patience. If you do not learn the virtue of patience, you don't have to master it. You don't have to become a fucking patience guru, okay? It's just learning how to instill a little bit more patience into your life. If you don't know how to do that, if you're not doing that, you're going to continue to repeat the cycles of bringing things into your life that you do not want. You're going to do that over and over and over again, okay? So everything that we've talked about this season, all of the healing, all of the growth, all of the evolution, all of the digging deep into ourselves, all of the manifesting the lives that we want, all of that is going to require some patience. So queens, you have to understand that life is a journey. It takes time to get where you want to be. You're not going to go from point A to point Z overnight. We're on a journey. We're trying to get to a destination, okay? And it's a daily journey. Every day you're taking a step. Maybe some days if you're feeling froggy, honey, you take 2 or 3 steps, okay? But the bottom line is having the patience and understanding that all good things take time. Nothing's going to shift overnight. Nothing's going to happen overnight. No major change is going to happen very, very quickly. It takes time, one step at a time, one brick at a time, a daily journey. And that's why patience is necessary, okay? So I want to take a moment to explain how patience works in your life, okay? Because I'm trying to convince you queens and educate you queens on why you should invest some time learning how to be patient. Now, it's not something that you have to learn in addition to what you're already working on, because I know you queens are like, girl, we done worked on 19 things this season, okay? You're wearing me out. You don't have to add this on as another thing to work on. What you're going to do is infuse patience into what you're already working on, okay? So it's not a new thing that you have to do. You just need to try to infuse it into what you're already working on. So here's why you need patience, okay, queens? Again, first things first, change takes time, period. It just takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I just explained it, so I'm not going to go into it in full detail. It's just the bottom line. It takes time. Second reason why it's important, okay? It requires self-control. And if you don't have some level of self-control, you won't be successful with change at all. You have to have some level of self-control, queens. A lot of people think that they have self-control. There's a lot of people who swear me up and down that they have all the self-control in the world. And the truth of the matter is most of us have not mastered self-control. Most of us will probably never fully master self-control. The bottom line is you have to be aware of your triggers. You have to be aware of what gets you all in a tizzy and what gets you to respond in a way that you probably will regret later on. So that's where patience comes in. Once you start instilling patience into the things that you're doing, you're actually learning the art of self-control during that time, okay? Okay, here's another reason why patience is really important. And this one is actually one that I think resonates with most of us because we live in a society where everything is instant gratification. Everything needs to happen right now. Everything needs to happen today. Everything needs to happen in this moment. We want everything today, right now. We don't want to wait for any damn thing. We get impatient with everything. We act like everything is a microwavable dinner. You go from a frozen, uncooked meal and a hungry stomach that's growling to putting something in the microwave and now you have a full course meal in 2.5 minutes. The society that we live in has perpetuated impatience. We literally have a computer in our pockets that give us access to information, resources, and tools in minutes. We also have a computer in our pocket that give us access to talking to someone, and we expect them to respond back in minutes. Our society has killed patience because everything needs to happen right now and today. We don't want to wait for anything. We get impatient about everything. God forbid there's 3 or 4 people in the grocery store in front of you in line and the person ringing them up is taking too long. We get frustrated and annoyed. We huff, we puff, we stomp our feet. We look around and try to figure out, well, damn, why they don't have more lines open? It's the middle of the day. It's the busiest time of the day. They only got 2 lines. We are super duper impatient. And that attitude, the way that we live today, all of the things that we have digitally and all of the things that create fast and easy convenience for us has robbed us of our ability to wait. And when you don't have the ability to wait, you wind up being overwhelmed and overstressed. And half of the time, it's unnecessary. Unnecessary shit. If you were to step back out of a situation and really think about, why am I rushing? 50% of the time that you're frustrated about having to wait, if you really step back and thought about what's the need to rush for, there really is no rush. I'll give you an example. I was on a trip with all of my best friends and some of our hubbies. We went to Belize. It was fucking gorgeous. I had the best time spending time with my friends. I'm so ready to go back, okay? One of my friends is so impatient. God, I love her to death, but she is so freaking impatient. So we go over there. We're in another country, totally different culture. In their culture in Belize in Central America, everything moves slow. They don't rush. Everything takes time. First of all, they don't have access to all of the things that we have access to over here in the States. So things just take a little bit longer. And it's actually like their little motto. You'll see signs around that says Belize. I think it says like where everything moves slow or where we take our time or something to that effect, right? But everything is just slower than what we expect. So we went out for breakfast one morning and it seemed like they were literally just cooking each one of our meals one at a time. So all of us were getting our meals separately. Like I got my food and then my girlfriend got her food and then my husband got his food. You know, we're all used to all of our food coming out at the same time within a normal decent time, like a 20-minute time frame. That's what we're accustomed to in the United States, okay? So we go over there and it takes a long time for your food to come. It takes a long time. And then when it comes kind of one at a time. And my friend is irritated. She's complaining. She's bitching. She's like, oh my gosh, everything's so slow. They don't understand what I'm saying. And she is having a minor fit. Not a major fit, but a minor fit. So me and my other BFF are just looking at her like, girl, if you don't relax, because truth of the matter is, when you really think about it, like, take a step back and stop reacting to things with the normal pattern of behavior that you have developed over time, and just take a step back and think about, what am I rushing for? We're on vacation. What are you rushing to do? Where do you need to go? Why do you have to get there so fast? You mean to tell me that you can't just sit here and enjoy the moment in a beautiful country near a beautiful beach and relax and have a good fucking time? You just can't chill? I'm just saying, Queen, sometimes we have to take a step back and think about it. Another example is like my mom. My mom drives so fast, ridiculously fast. Fast to the point where sometimes when she drives, I will tell her to pull over and make her get in the passenger seat and I'll drive, because her driving makes me crazy. It actually scares the shit out of me sometimes. And my mom literally speeds, and she will speed to the next stop sign. Like, you can see 3 stop signs ahead and she will speed from one to the other and then put the brakes on real hard. She'll give people the middle finger, wave her fist at people who are driving slow and go around them real aggressively. And my mom is retired. And I ask her all the time, Mom, why are we in a rush? Where are we going? Well, we're going to the store. I know, but why do we have to get there expeditiously? Why are we rushing? We don't need to rush. We're not in a rush. It's a Saturday. We're chilling. We're just going out to hang out today. It's okay if we get there at 5:05 and not 4:59. Okay, so I just wanted to give you, Queen, some examples of that. You wind up making yourself stressed, and you overwhelm yourself, and you get yourself all wound up for what? Every situation doesn't need to happen fast. Yes, there are some situations that you need to happen fast. Sometimes there's an emergency. Sometimes you're on a schedule. I get that, but it's not all the time. You are going to increase your levels of stress. You will cause yourself a heart attack. There are physical ramifications because of stress. It ain't worth it, baby. Relax, okay? Just learn how to relax. Learn how to live in the moment. Learn how to take your time. Don't let society make you just react the way that everyone else is reacting, or do things the way everyone else is doing, okay? You don't have to rush. You don't need everything to happen quick. You can enjoy the moment that you're in, and you can take your time. Everything doesn't have to happen expeditiously, okay? So again, it's important to learn how to be patient, because you need to be able to manage stress and not put yourself in a stressful situation and in overwhelming positions unnecessarily, because that is detrimental to your health, okay? Here's another reason why it's important to have patience, and this is actually my favorite one. Patience allows you to be compassionate. Compassion is one of my favorite things in life. And more importantly, having compassion towards yourself is powerful. Be compassionate to yourself. Understand that you're not perfect. Take it easy on yourself. Be nicer to yourself. Be kinder to yourself. Lower your expectations a little bit. Stop pushing yourself so hard. Stop beating yourself up so much. Understand that you are a human being and you are not perfect. Have compassion for yourself first. Once you learn to have compassion for yourself, you will naturally find more compassion for other people. And when you have compassion for other people, you'll stop judging people so much. You'll stop critiquing people so much. You'll stop complaining about things so much. When you have compassion, compassion is the ability to be able to put yourself in someone else's position and understand where they may be or how they may feel. That's what compassion is. It's a very, very important characteristic to develop, because it really does help you relate to other people. It helps you be more human, and that's why patience allows you to be more compassionate. It is a quality that you truly, truly do want to work on if you don't have compassion today, because if you're not compassionate, like I said, you could become judgmental, you could become critical, you could talk shit about other people, gossiping and things like that. And here's the thing about that, Queens. If that's what you're doing to other people, remember what we talked about last week. Karma is a reflection. The karma that you will get from doing that is that people will do that to you. People will be judgmental of you. People will talk shit about you. People will criticize you. It's the boomerang that you're throwing out into the universe, and it's going to throw it right back, okay? So you want to learn how to have compassion, and patience will help you with that. Okay, here's another one. Patience shapes your ability to commit. Woo, child. This one is good for relationships and jobs and businesses and all of that good stuff. Patience even allowed me to get through 3 seasons of All Queens Army and finally creating a platform that I stuck to. Once I learned patience, I learned how to commit because I was the most impatient person you could have ever met, honey. If you knew Breezy 7-8 years ago, honey, I was super duper impatient. And sometimes I still am. It's certain things that I have not mastered patience in, queens. You queens know I always say I'm talking to me and you, okay? I'm not getting on this podcast, on Instagram and on Facebook preaching from a pulpit, honey. I am in the goddamn audience. I am speaking from the crowd, honey. I'm speaking to us all, okay? I am not patient with everything. However, the things that I am patient about, I notice that those are the things that go so much more smoothly in my life and areas of my life that I've been able to manifest what I want. And also areas of my life that I'm happy in, okay? Okay, here's one last reason that you should develop patience. You will be able to make more thought out and better decisions. You'll be able to plan and not make emotional decisions and not make decisions in haste and not just jump up and do shit in the moment. And that right there is a game changer. I'm telling you, when you have the ability to stop and think before you jump into something, before you make a purchase, before you commit to something, before you say you're going to do something, when you have the ability to do that, honey, it is life changing. Talk about self-control. That is another layer of self-control. It's you being able to make decisions after thinking something through, after planning something out, and not just making random decisions and shifting here and shifting there. That's another way that helped me get to where I am with All Queens Army, because I would jump from business to business. Every time I saw something else that interests me, I would be like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I'm interested in that. Oh, I want to try that. And I'm telling you, I wasn't making good decisions. I was all over the place. Sometimes I still feel like I'm all over the place. But at the end of the day, me working on patience, it taught me self-control and it taught me commitment. Self-control and commitment taught me how to plan. It taught me how to think things through logically before I jumped into something. It taught me how to focus. Patience. Okay. Now, on top of that, add compassion. Add compassion for yourself, honey. And that is the recipe for success. That is the recipe for peace. That is the recipe for happiness, honey. Okay. So let me give you, queens, a couple of tips and a couple of suggestions on how you can begin to work on developing patience. Okay. The first thing is identify when you're impatient and what emotion it is that you're feeling. So just think about it. What types of things cause you to feel impatient? What types of things do you want to just do right now? What types of things do you want to happen right now in this moment? What types of things do you get irritated about when they don't happen fast enough? What type of things do you get annoyed with having to wait for? Identify those situations and scenarios. Write them down if you have to. Here's the second thing you can do. Reframe how you think about the situation. So whatever you just wrote down and identifying what it is that you're impatient about, reframe how you think about that situation. Again, I'll use my mom and her crazy driving as an example, okay? I tried to help my mom reframe her thought process about that situation, okay? So what is that situation? You're driving super duper fast, driving like a maniac. Why are you driving so fast? And her explanation was, because these people are driving so slow. And then I had to ask her the question, well, why is that a problem? Truth of the matter is those people weren't driving slow. They just weren't speeding like she wanted to do. So the question is, but mom, why do they have to drive fast? And then the question was, well, why do you have to drive fast? And she thought about it and she said, like I mentioned earlier, she's like, because we're going out, we need to get to the store. And again, I'm trying to reframe her mindset. And I said, but why do we have to get there so quickly? And she thought about that and she's like, well, we don't. Exactly. So reframe your thinking about what it is that you are impatient about, or about what it is that you have to happen now. Just shift the way you think about it. Do we really have to get there that quickly? When she really thought about it, like consciously thought about it, she was like, yeah, no, we don't really have to get there quick. Okay, then now you can be more patient, you can slow down, and you can drive this car like you have some sense and not kill both of us. Okay? So just shifting your thought process. Start asking yourself questions. Ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Or why do you think what you think? When you ask yourself that question and then you have to think of the answers to, yeah, why am I doing that? It's almost like you're slowly retraining your mind to take your mind off of autopilot, because our minds are on autopilot. The behaviors and the patterns that we learn and the habits that we create, after a while, they become second nature and we just do them, but we're not thinking about it. And sometimes those behaviors and those patterns and those habits, they grow old and stale and they no longer serve us. Maybe they served us when we created them. Maybe they served us when we learned them, but they may not be serving us where we are today. So if they're not serving you where you are today, get rid of it. Shift your mindset and think differently, okay? Reframe how you think about the situation. Okay, so the third tip is specific to a goal. This is for people who may be working towards a goal or working towards something or trying to manifest something. And again, the key ingredient to success, the key ingredient to manifesting what it is that you want or attracting what you want, the key ingredient is patience. So if you're one of those people, here is a tip for you. Focus on the purpose or the goal. Shift your mindset to the purpose. If you focus on the purpose or you focus on the goal, it'll allow you to be more patient, because what it is it's reminding you of why you're doing what you're doing. Why am I working so hard? Why am I trying? Why am I not giving up? Why am I continuing to go? Why am I still doing this a year later? If you focus on the goal or the purpose, it will help you to be more patient and wait for your time or wait for your opportunity or wait for your thing to manifest, okay? Here's another tip. Start small. One of the biggest indicators of an impatient person is someone that sets really, really big high goals that could potentially be unrealistic, okay? And I'm not saying unrealistic because people aren't capable of them. You queens know that I know that any one of us can set out to do anything, no matter how crazy it is. We can manage to do anything. So you already know that I'm not saying that. There's no limit on our potential. There's no limit on what we can do. What I mean by setting unrealistic or too big of a goal is the time that you're giving yourself to hit the goal is not realistic, okay? It's just not realistic, meaning the thing that you need to do in the time frame that you gave yourself to achieve the goal isn't possible. For example, if you weigh 200 pounds and you say my goal is to weigh 150 pounds and you give yourself a month to do it, that is an unrealistic goal. It's not unrealistic to say you want to lose 50 pounds. It's unrealistic to say you're going to do it in a month. That's unrealistic and it's unhealthy. So that's what I mean about unrealistic goals. When you set goals that are too big or unrealistic, it's an indication that you're impatient. It means that I want what I want and I want it now. I'm not willing to wait the necessary time that it takes. I'm not willing to plan it out properly. I just want it now. That's a clear sign that you don't have patience, okay? So if you want to work on how to develop patience, set smaller goals. Just start off small so that you can practice. And practicing is actually the last tip. Keep practicing. Practice, practice, practice patience. Pay attention to your thought processes. Pay attention to your reactions when you have to wait. Pay attention to how you act or how you feel when things aren't working out when you want and how you want and as quickly as you want. Just practice. And when you notice that you're getting flared up, when you notice that you're getting annoyed or frustrated, just take a step back and go to tip number 2, which is reframe how you're thinking about this situation. Okay? So that number 2 tip, reframing how you think about the situation, that's what the practice is. You're going to be practicing that step over and over and over and over and over again. Every day, maybe multiple times a day, because your natural reaction is going to be impatient or to not want to wait or to get frustrated or to start beating yourself up or to get annoyed or any of those things. So always revert back to number 2 and reframe your thinking. Be patient with yourself. That's the most important thing. Learn to be patient with yourself. You did not get to where you are overnight. You're not going to get to where you want to go overnight. You did not manifest all of the beautiful, wonderful shit that you have today overnight. You're not going to manifest the rest of the beautiful, wonderful shit that you're going to manifest overnight. You did not become a badass queen overnight. You are not going to be able to become an even better ass queen overnight. Everything takes time. So learn how to be patient. One thing I can tell you, queens, about time is it's going to pass regardless. So if you don't get it in a month, it's okay to get it in 12 months. If you didn't get your dream house in a year, it's okay to get your dream house in 5 years. God willing, those 5 years are going to pass anyway. So if you didn't get it in the first year, wouldn't it be dope as fuck that by the time 5 years pass, you're actually there, instead of getting frustrated or giving up and shutting that goal down and creating another goal, and those 5 years still go by any fucking way and you don't have a house, not the dream one or any one period? I mean, wouldn't it just be better? That's what patience teaches you. Time is going to pass whether you like it or not. Here's another example of patience and time. So in 2018, my husband and I made a decision that he was going to go back to truck driving school and get his Class A license, because ultimately he wants to be self-employed, and that was the goal. So that was back in 2018. It's 2020 now, almost 2021. So you're talking about 3 years ago that he made that decision. Well, when he first made that decision, he was talking to one of our family members, because one of our family members was going through some things financially. And he said, hey, have you ever thought about getting into trucking or driving a truck? And the family member said, you know what? Yeah, actually, that's definitely one of my goals. It's something that I've always wanted to do. My sister does it. She makes really good money, and I definitely want to get into it. And my husband said, well, why don't you go to school with me? I'm getting ready to do it. Why not jump into it? You're still young. You have your whole life ahead of you. It's a great opportunity to start up a nice, lucrative career for yourself. Do you want to do it? And family member said that he just really didn't have the time, that going to truck driving school was going to take 5 months, and that was a long time, and he needs the money now. Like, he's struggling today, and he needs the money right now. So he just didn't have the time to invest, and so on and so forth, okay? So fast forward to right now, almost 3 years ago, and my family member is still in the same exact financial situation that he was in 3 years ago. And so what I'm saying to you, queens, is that you have to understand that the time is going to pass regardless. Sometimes we want to be experiencing it right now. We want to be experiencing it today. But the problem is when you lack patience and you want something to happen today, what you do is you get attracted to quick hits. You get attracted to things that'll give you a reaction or a response or an instant gratification today. And a lot of times those things don't last. A lot of times things that are quick and easy are sleazy, okay? They don't last. They are temporary. So understand that investing the time into something is what's going to allow you to reap the benefits of something that will last you potentially for a lifetime. The things that require you to invest time into are usually the things that foundationally change our fucking lives. So it is so important, queens, to infuse patience into everything that you're doing. It is so important, queens, to infuse patience into all of your self-work. Any work that you're doing on yourself, any healing, any self-reflection, infuse patience. Learn to be patient with yourself. Learn to take your time with yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to have compassion. Learn to care for yourself. Patience is a virtue. Patience is the main ingredient for happiness, for peace, and for success. And with that being said, queens, that is a wrap for today's episode. That is a wrap for season 3. I love you, queens, so much. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for going through and going on this journey with me. I am so grateful that I get to go on this journey with you. Much love, much respect. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach me at breezy@allqueensarmy.com. That is BREIZY at allqueensarmy.com. I love you so much, queens, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to the All Queens Army podcast. If you want to connect with Breezy Time and the All Queens Army, be sure to follow them on IG and Facebook at All Queens Army. Or head over and check out the All Queens Army YouTube channel. Until next time.